G'day folks, well the day has finally arrived. The Troopy Build begins today. So I've been doing a fair amount of research and it turns out that Troopies are susceptible to rust in certain places. And because I want to keep this car for a very long time, I want to give it the best chance of not rusting over the next 20 or 30 years. Now, there are many ways of protecting your vehicle from rust. You can do fish oil, lanolin sprays, rubberized underbody sprays, and the list goes on. Now, one thing that I'm going to do to this car that I also did on the FJ is use some electronic rust protection. Now, when you do electronic rust protection, there are good units and bad units out there. So you really need to do some research to find what is a good unit to buy. Now, I'm using the Coupler Tech unit here. Now, this is an Australian company. I'm not sponsored by them. I have used their product in the past on the FJ Cruiser, and I can speak from personal experience that so far there is no rust on the FJ. Now, on the bonnet of the FJ, very early on when I bought it, I got a massive big chip, and I wanted to get some touch-up paint and paint it, and I never got round to it, and one thing just led to another, and the years rolled on and I never did anything about it. But the electronic rust protection so far looks like is doing what it's claimed on the box, because there's no signs of rust getting into the metal. There's no bubbly edges around the part where the paint chip is missing, and it's down to the bare metal. There's no signs underneath from the other side of the bonnet that there's any sign of rust developing. So touch wood, it looks like it is working, and it looks like it's doing exactly what they say. So the reason that I chose Coupler Tech this time around is because of that. The reason I chose it the first time around is the way that this works kind of sets it apart from other units. So in order to understand how this unit works, I recommend follow the link on the screen, head to the Coupler Tech website, and they explain it very clearly and very well. They explain the physics of exactly how it works, and to me it made perfect sense, but not quite enough sense for me to be able to explain it to you in simple terms. So if you're interested, have a look at the website, and you can then hopefully satisfy your curiosity in how this works. All I can say is from my personal experience of using this on the FJ Cruiser, it's worked. It seems to have worked. So let's install it on the Troopy and see how we go. So the box got 6 pads. It's got all the cabling here, and it has your device, which comes with a bunch of wires, and you then affix this to the inside of the engine bay somewhere, wire it up to the battery, and away we go. So let's get cracking. Well, one of the things I like about the new Troopy is it has this cavity here where you can run wires and you can mount things. So let's start with that. This has an adhesive pad on the back of it, so we'll just find a location to mount it. Let's start by cleaning it all. And I'm going to, I think, mount it in this location here. Now, it's important to mount to ground it. So wherever I'm going to mount it, the green is the ground wire. That's going to join the body somewhere here. That has to be 50 centimeters away from the first pad. So 50 centimeters is about there. The first pad will be there. Same on the other side. And then the next 2 pads will be halfway down the vehicle, and the last 2 will be at the end of the vehicle. Well, there's nothing like learning how to take apart a brand new car for the first time. I have no idea what I'm doing. I don't know how to take this car apart. The FJ I can take apart with my eyes closed, but this car, I'm still learning. Shouldn't be too hard though. Best thing to use is these tools here. This is a plastic prying tool. You can pick them up from Super Cheap Auto or Repco or most auto stores, and hopefully it doesn't damage your car as you're prying the panels off. Still need to be very careful because these panels seem to be very, very thin. These panels are so thin, it's about 1 millimetre. There's nothing to it really. There we go, first panel is off. There's no insulation at all. The reverse side of this panel is just a fibro sheet, 1 millimetre thin, no insulation at all. That's why the Troopy is so noisy, and that's why the Troopy gets so hot. But we shall fix this, all in good time. I've removed the first two side panels and taken out the rear seat, and there's a huge amount of room in here. Now I can get to the next two side panels. There's a huge amount of room. Okay, this is the last panel, finally. And that's it. Right. Now that the panels are off, I'm going to try and route the wires through the inner part of the car, so this part here, and then stick one pad here, one pad down the end, same on the other side, wire them up, and we're done. Okay, so that's the Coupler-Tech installation finally done. Now the last thing I did was cover every electrode with silicone, and that is just in case water gets in there. So it's now working, everything is happy, I've tested it with a multimeter, it's all working, so hopefully that will stop the rust for the lifetime of the Troopy. But that's not all I'm doing. The next stage of the rust proofing is to apply some lanolin in key parts of the car. I've got some lanolin spray here. Inside the door cavity, it's known to collect some water and rust, so this is what I'm using to counter that. Alright, so it's a few hours later. I finished the first part of the installation of the Coupler-Tech. The module is right here. I've earthed it here. I've got the negative wire running to the battery. I've got the positive wire running to this box here. This is an accessory fuse box. This is a really fantastic idea that Toyota have included with the Troopies. You can wire up your own accessories in there. It is really, really fantastic. So it keeps things looking neat and factory.